Hey guys, we are back for a Star Wars Black Series review, and it has been a little while since we've done one of these because I couldn't find this guy, and I finally got my hands on him. So this has been my most anticipated Black Series release in quite a while, at least since Force Friday for sure. So today we're going to be taking a look at LOM. This is number 67 in the Black Series, so he's in that standard red and black box. There's nothing too crazy here. We've got some artwork of him on the front. His number's on the side. We've got a very, very tiny write-up on the back, and then his name going down the side. So let's do it and pull him out. All right, guys, so here is LOM out of the package, and this is one that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Like I mentioned, it's one that I wasn't able to really get a hold of until very, very recently, thanks to BigBadToyStore. If you guys are interested in picking one of them up, I will put a link down in the description below so you can check them out and snag one. But this is one that, you know, I've long wanted. The Bounty Hunters are a huge fan favorite, a personal favorite for years and years and years. So this is one that I was definitely very interested to get a hold of. So we're going to do all the normal stuff: articulation, paint, sculpt. We will do a comparison to C-3PO as well, because obviously there is some things to talk about there, but for the most part, this figure seems to be very, very much a different beast altogether. So we're going to start with articulation and see how well this guy moves around. Alright, now as far as articulation goes, this guy definitely offers more than C-3PO. It's not a huge night and day difference, mind you, but he definitely does a little bit more, and honestly that's quite necessary just because of the fact that he's a bounty hunter. He needs to be a little more dynamic, he needs to be able to do things. You don't want him just standing there. So we've got a head that is on that new double ball peg they've been using lately, so you can rock it side to side. He can look down quite a bit. We can go up a decent bit, and then of course rotates all the way around. Nothing in the way, so there's no hindrances there. Arms can go out. They can rotate at the shoulder. The cuff will follow the shoulder. We've got a bicep swivel, well, bicep, droid bicep, and then he does have an elbow hinge. Of course, because of this sculpt, they've got these crossbars on the protocol droids. C-3PO doesn't have moving elbows, but LOM does, so he's got a kind of a ridge inside the wrist that the bar will follow. So as you push the arm up, the bar slides forward, sort of. That's the best way for me to describe it anyway. So that allows for mobility. It's not great. It's not even really 90 degrees, but it is more than, you know, 0. So he can definitely move his arms. You can get him to hold his gun with both hands that way. He has rotating wrists. We do have hinge. This is a horizontal, so side-to-side hinge. This is an up and down hinge, vertical hinge. We have got movement at the torso. You can go forward and backwards, but it's pretty minimal. It's not the greatest. The legs can kick forward. If you rotate the legs, they can kick back a little bit, but it's not that great. He can't move his legs out very far because of the flared thigh pads, I guess is the best way to say it. I'm not sure what they should be called. There is that thigh cut, so you can rotate a little bit. We do have a single joint at the knee. It's about 90, maybe 75 degrees. We've got rocker, we've got hinge down at the ankle. So he is, for the most part, a pretty standard articulated action figure, at least as far as the Black Series goes. He does obviously have some limitations just based on his sculpt, but they did, I think, what they could to make him as mobile as possible. All right, now as far as the overall look and feel of this figure, the obvious thing to do is compare him to C-3PO, and we'll do that in a minute, but I think it's important to notice that he is very much a different type of character here. He's a different series of droid, for one, so he is very unique while at the same time sharing a lot of similarities to 3PO. There's quite a few little small details that are different, at least as far as the figures go. Now, as far as his overall paint scheme, he's pretty minimal for the most part. He's mostly cast, but then he has this kind of dirt and grit patina type look all over him, which kind of sits in the recessed areas. In the nooks and crannies, you can see it kind of run down all the line work on the arms, and it's in the line work on the back side there as well. So I think in general, the paint applications where he has them on the body in terms of that grit and dirt look really, really nice. We've got his kind of trademark red insignia on his chest there, but obviously the big thing here is the head, and I think it is sculpted expertly well. It is fantastic, and kind of the Easter egg type thing that, well, people already know about it at this point because he's not exactly a new figure right now. But the Easter egg type thing with this figure is that the head is cast in a clear green plastic. So if you were to shine a light, let's say on the back of the head, the eyes will glow because they are still transparent. The rest of the head is painted kind of a gunmetal gray, and you can see all of those kind of bug and insect-like features on him. And I think it's just a fantastic head sculpt. Everything about this figure looks just like I expected it to, and this is, as far as I'm concerned in the looks department, this is the LOM figure that I have been waiting for. Now, the obvious comparison piece, like I've already mentioned, is C-3PO, and I don't think they share as many parts as I had initially expected, and I think most of that comes down to the fact that 4-LOM is obviously just different in certain ways, and then of course he has added articulation in the arm region with the bicep swivels, with the elbow joint, and he's obviously got different hands. But I believe that the legs are the same and the crotch area is the same. The innards are different, the chest is different, the arms are entirely different. They share similar features, but they are slightly different. 4-LOM's little doodads here are not connected to the arms, where 3PO's are. He obviously has the bar that can move inside the arms. Like I said, the chest is different, it's an entirely different design, and the backs, I think, are the same. The shoulder cuffs appear to be the same as well, but this part right here definitely looks the same. Even the little details on these little keyed areas right here are the same, and the head sculpt is obviously different. So they share some parts, they share a few little similarities, but they aren't quite as similar as I had thought they would be, at least from a cost-saving perspective. I know, already from just being a Star Wars fan that they are not really the same droid. They just happen to be similar because they're both protocol droids, and I'm glad, as far as a toy collector goes, that they are so different. And as far as accessories goes, 4-LOM doesn't have a great deal. He's got this same type of heavy blaster rifle that we have seen with other figures. We've got this with a handful of troopers so far. He doesn't have his own unique type of gun. He can hold it in either hand. He could hold it in one hand just fine, and he is capable of holding it in a two-handed pose, although you're not going to get too dynamic with it just because of the fact that he is limited at those elbows. So there's only going to be so much you can do in terms of posing him to make it look like he's holding it up to his bug eyes there. But with the right angle, you can get it going just fine. And I think as far as being able to hold it in two hands, we got about what we would expect to get for a figure that is supposed to be limited because he is so mechanical. Overall, I am very happy with this figure. He does, like I mentioned, have limited articulation, but that's not really a negative for me. He's going to move as much as he can move based on the confines of his sculpt, and I think Hasbro did a pretty solid job of making him as mobile as possible. He is a longtime favorite character for me, despite the fact that he does nothing in The Empire Strikes Back, but I am very, very fond of him from the old Legends continuity, so he is one that I've been really looking forward to. I think they did a great job with the weathered paint look, with the differences between himself and C-3PO, and of course I do like the little Easter egg they threw in with the transparent head. All in all, I think if you're a bounty hunter guy, you've got to get this one. You don't need me to tell you that, but I would urge anybody that is even remotely into Star Wars to give this guy a look. He is a very, very cool character and a very cool action figure. So that's going to do it for this look at the Star Wars Black Series 4-LOM figure from Hasbro. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and until next time.